ever imagined winning the lottery? Can you imagine all that you could do with a winning jackpot? Hello, my name is Erica Gomez. I'm an independent representative with Primerica. In this video, I want to share with you 3 easy concepts you can apply to your life right now to help move you in the right direction. If you're already doing these things, then this confirms you are staying on task with reaching all of your goals and dreams. I titled my session today, Having a Plan is Better Than Playing the Lottery, not because I'm against playing the lottery at all, but because when you look at it from a strategic standpoint, it's the little things that we do every day that can either help us or hurt us. I read this book called The Latte Factor that simply stated if spending $10 a day on coffee and a donut in the morning can turn into $50 a week and then into $200 a month just on coffee and donuts in the morning. If you were to take that $200 and apply it to paying off debt or putting it into savings, wouldn't that make more sense? I am sure many of you would agree with me that when I say most people don't plan to fail, we just fail to plan. So the biggest reasons people fail financially is they don't have the education, they don't have a plan in writing, and they don't have a financial coach. See, if we all have a plan and work that plan, then our plan would work. And that's why that's what I want to focus on today. But first, I want to share with you my story because everyone's financial plan is different. And what I have found out is that many times people can relate to my own personal story. I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas. I grew up doing all of the right things. I went to school, I got good grades, I got into a good college so that I could get a good job. In fact, I was hired to teach the same year I graduated from college, and I thought I would be doing that my whole life. I never saw myself doing anything else. And then 7 years ago, I came across this company because my husband and I heard that they could help us put a plan in place to get ourselves out of debt. And let me tell you guys, I had a lot of credit card debt. So we both had 2 full-time incomes, and yet we were living paycheck to paycheck. And on some months, it was even credit card to paycheck to credit card. So they put a plan in place for us that showed us how we could debt stack our debt to pay it off faster, and how we could save in areas like our auto and home and life insurance right away to pay off our debt faster. Since I'm a numbers person, I saw the plan, broke down the numbers, and I thought to myself, yup, this could work. So I decided I wanted to learn these concepts and show them to others. I got licensed with a company and started helping people I knew and cared about the most. And little by little, we started paying off our credit cards and student loans. And in 10 months of working our plan, we were able to pay off $50,000 worth of debt, and we became debt-free. I share this story with you not to brag, but to show you that if it was possible for me, then it's possible for you or others like you. Okay, let's talk about how money works. First, let me give you a couple words of encouragement. Yes, you can get out of debt. Yes, you can build savings. And yes, you can get on a path to financial independence. One of the first things I teach families on is the 3 accounts that you need. You have your emergency fund that should have at least $1,000 worth of savings in there. And when we talk about emergencies, there's 3 types of emergencies that we like to say are emergencies only. These emergencies are anything that deals with your home, your car, or major medical expenses. A lot of times I have families that tell me, I really need to use this money to take a vacation to go to Cancun. And I say, no, I'm sorry, but that is not an emergency, right? I would love for it to be an emergency, but it's not. So an emergency fund includes anything that deals with your water heater breaking down, you have a flat tire and need to get a new tire, or you have to rush your child to an emergency room. So that's where you would use your emergency fund. Your second account is your short-term savings. Your short-term savings should be an account where you have anywhere from 3 to 6 months of either your monthly expenses or your income that comes in. And so right now is a great example of where some families have been saved with a short-term savings, because during this time, some families have lost their jobs. And I know that for a lot of families, this can be very detrimental. And so if you look at having a short-term savings account, then you know that you have 3 to 6 months of income saved for emergencies like losing your job or having to take time off work for a parent that you need to stay home for, or having a sick child at home that you can't work. and you need to take time off of work to be able to watch your child. And so that's a good reason to be able to have a short-term savings in place. The last account is your long-term savings or investments, and this is actually set up through your employer, like through a 401k or a pension. And so what happens is a lot of times these are automatically set up through your employer, but many families only have this in place. And so when a major emergency happens, a lot of families end up pulling from their long-term savings because they didn't have an emergency or short-term savings in place. So having all three is important for all three different reasons, right? Paying off your debt. I kind of talked about this one already. So a lot of families, the biggest challenge that a lot of families have with saving more money is that they have a lot of money that's already going out to paying off their debt. So what we educate on is a simple system called the debt stacking concept. And it takes a list of all of your debts. So for example, here you have a retail card, a credit card 2, a car loan, a credit card 1, and your mortgage, right? And so what it does is it takes, you're still making the same amount of payments to all of your cards. But you start with your first card, which is the retail card number 1, and you pay $220 to it. Well, once that's paid off, you start taking that $222 and applying it to your second card, which is your credit card number 2. So now instead of making a $353 payment to that card, you're making a $573 payment to that card, and so on and so forth until you get to the very last thing, which ends up being your mortgage. If you notice at the bottom, the gray box at the bottom says that you're still paying $2,720 every month. So I'm not asking you to add additional. If you can add additional, then that's great. You can definitely pay off everything faster, but this is just baseline with what you're currently doing right now. Buying the right kind of life insurance. I know that this is a topic that is different for some people to talk about, right? But life insurance is the number one thing that protects families in case there's a loss of a loved one, right? How much is your car worth, and do you insure it? How much is your house worth, and do you insure it? I know that the state mandates that we all have car insurance, so we have to have that car insurance in case we were in an accident. Your mortgage currently mandates that you have mortgage insurance, homeowners insurance, in case there's something that goes wrong with your house, right? But very few times do we consider or think about having life insurance, although life insurance is the number one thing that protects families in case a loved one were to pass away. So can you afford not to insure your life? It is a great question that we always ask. In closing, I want to remind you that creating a plan in writing is the number one thing all families need to focus on. Why is that the number one thing? Because it gives you a snapshot of where you are, and sticking to it is the second most important thing, right? With time, you will see changes in your finances. I always refer to working your plan like you would a workout plan. Many of us want to work out every day and to feel better and look better. But if you walked into a gym today, early in the morning, and later on in the evening, you didn't see the results that you wanted, would you give up on your gym and say, oh man, this gym thing, it just doesn't work? No, that's silly. You wouldn't think that. So create your plan and work your plan, and I assure you your plan will work. I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions and would like to reach out to me, my information is in the link posted below. Have a great day. Thank you very much.